that is fair. If that's something you like to do, that's a secure job. You can help so many people, like as a social worker, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it may be, whether you're working at a bank, you're working at as an event planner, you're working at, I don't know, you're managing a restaurant, whatever. Everybody has different hopes and dreams and goals. And mine was just to work for myself. I am that type of personality, and that is not everybody's personality, and that's fine. So, when I was working as a social worker, I went home and I took one course about being a freelance writer because, as I mentioned, I really like journalism and media. So, I thought this is perfect for me. Let's just do this. I took a course, I watched the YouTube videos, I read the articles, and I was able to find like my niche. So, a niche is something we'll talk about another time if it comes up, but basically, I like what you like to do, your area of expertise. And the natural way for me to get into freelance writing is to write about something that I know about, enjoy, and have some, interest in writing about. I took two courses, read the articles, watched the YouTube videos, joined some Facebook groups, and I just dove right in. And I know that that's something that not everybody feels comfortable in doing, but that is just something I decided. I'm like, let's just do it. You have to start without knowing what's going to happen. You have to start messy, start when you don't feel ready, because if you don't, you're never going to start. So I just had that mindset and went right in, and that changed my entire life. I began writing in, I think what I was trying to say before is I started writing in the health industry, wellness, like niche. So I was writing for Cake, which is a company who helps people while they're healthy and young create their end of life documents. And that's something I'm very familiar with. So I had a great time like writing things like that. It was more of an uplifting, take on it. Obviously, I wasn't writing horribly morbid things all day, but that really got my foot in the door. And I started at a lower pay, but I was doing it as more of a quote unquote side hustle. And I ended up really liking it and kind of did the fake it till you make it approach and got some more clients. I remember sitting in the doctor's office parking lot, and I was looking on this website that had startups on it. I think it was called Angel, but now it's called Wellfound, if you're interested. And it has all these startups. And I came across, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name right now, but it's headphones for the elderly, people who have dementia or are hard of hearing. Um, it was just so up my alley. I felt like that is an awesome thing to be a part of. And then this just got the ball rolling. I ended up starting doing this. It was either September, I can't even remember what month it was. I ended up leaving my full time job about 6 months in because I was able to make the same amount of money, and then it ended up being even more. So that really changed everything for me and put me on this trajectory that helped me find what I really wanted to do. And I think even though my job title and the capacity that I'm doing things in changed, it's always had the same underlying goal of being my own boss, being creative, being able to work from wherever, having this schedule that's flexible because I myself have my own health issues and now I have a son who has health things. So it's just been invaluable to have that ability to make my own hours. So, anyways, I was full time as a freelance writer and getting more clients. And I will tell you, a lot of it was fake it till you make it. If you want to know more about freelancing, getting started freelancing, what freelancing is, I'd love to talk about it. And I think I'm going to have a dedicated episode to it. But freelance, you can do freelance basically anything, but I'm talking about content writing, and then I became a copywriter, and now I'm a social media manager, copywriter, writer, and started content creating, and now you are listening to my podcast. So this is just where it's just my jam. I love creating. I love just exploring new things, discovering new things that you can do. I love that these days you can use your personality, your experiences, and your unique point of view to create a brand. And back to Tess, who is my coach, I identify with everything she says and does resonates with me, and it's just awesome to find people like that who you don't have to explain anything to. They just are in your they're your vibe. They get where you're coming from, what you've been through, what you want to do. They understand your goals. So that's another thing that's helped me is finding those people. If you want to be in law school, you want to be a lawyer, join Facebook groups. I'm sure there's plenty of Facebook groups. If you want to be a nurse and you're nervous about going to school, join a Facebook group, follow some Instagrams, watch some TikToks, journal about it. Like, there's so many things that you can do to help yourself make these decisions and feel more confident in taking the leap. Because if it wasn't for pivoting in my life, I would not be where I am and I would not be as happy as I am. So, now here we are, fast forwarding to 2023. It is May, almost June. I almost have a 1 year old, which is insane to me. And I finally feel like I'm getting my footing to follow this dream of podcasting and content creation. And it's just awesome. Being a mom is a whole new world. It's definitely thrown a wrench in things. um, One of the things I want to talk about on this podcast is becoming your best self through habits and routines, about mental health and just not caring what people think. A lot of topics, and a lot of them are coming back up for me right now. I'm trying to establish new routines and habits while leaving space, because having a child and working for yourself, it's hard to have set routines, but the habits are literally life changing. That sounds so dramatic, but it really is. And I can't wait to talk more about that. If you want to get started on it, read the book Atomic Habits or The Power of Habit, or there's some other resources I'll give you if you're interested. Maybe I'll put them in the show notes, but those are some things that you can also like read and listen to and learn from, that will help you get the courage and make more sense of your desires and your goals. I think uh, me, mindset has been everything. And as the years have gone on, when I first got into freelance writing, I kind of knew what mindset was. I was super into mental health awareness and ending the stigma there, but I didn't really know more of the practical skills for my mental health mindset, and things in that, you know, things like that. So now that I do, I could go back in time and do things differently, as far as like doing things more efficiently. Now I know what habits are. I know how to start a habit. I know how to help stop a habit. I know how to habit stack. I know how to analyze what habits are working for me. I know how to create a routine, a nighttime and a morning routine, daytime routines that work for me. Um, all of those things are so important. And all of this is why I want to talk about the things I want to talk about. A couple of the other things that this podcast is going to be about is just embracing who you are and being authentic to who you are, living the most authentic, happy, fulfilled life. And it might feel out of reach for you. Like, if you're thinking right now, well, I need to make money, I can't just start to be a clothing designer. There are ways to get there. One. Two, it starts with very small things. So, small habits, atomic habits, if you will. And you can achieve those things. And I just want you to come to this podcast for a little nudge every week, and it might be 2 times a week. We'll probably decide as we go. But I I wonder if you can feel this like through your ears right now. I am so passionate about this, and I just want to take everybody by the shoulders and be like, if you are not doing what you want to do, if you close your eyes at night and you're dreading the next day, or you're dreading driving to work, like, it doesn't have to be that way. And you can embrace who you are. It doesn't matter what people think. Embrace and own your cringe. Who cares what people think of you? And if you are more concerned about the reality, like, is it really realistic for you to do XYZ? Yes, it is. It's what you put out there. It's all about the manifesting and stuff, which There's so many ways I want to go right now, but that'll be another episode as well. Basically, what I want to say is you can do whatever you want. And that's another thing I want to talk about is just embracing who you are. Pivoting careers and starting over, especially if it's later in life. A lot of people feel like, oh, I'm in my mid 20s. Like, I'm already 5 years into this job, or I'm already getting my master's degree. Like, I can't go back. Not true. And we're going to talk about people who have pivoted their careers or started things later in life or pivoted multiple times, like I have. I want to talk about life lessons and advice. I have a series going on my TikTok right now of life lessons and advice that I learned in my 30 years because I am going to be 30. I'm really excited for my 30s. I think it's going to be the best decade yet. um, and I want to talk about mental health, about being a mom, habit forming, and mindset, like I said. I'm married and I would love to talk about that. Having a kid, it's a huge one as a wife and husband. Like being married with a kid is like a whole different dynamic. Living life to the fullest. I'm going to bring some astrologers on, some Enneagram experts, and human design experts, and you're going to learn more about yourself in that aspect, like your birth chart and what all of these other things say, like what Enneagram you are. If you don't know what those things are, that's totally fine. You can Google it right now, but we're going to go over it on different episodes. We're going to talk about overcoming struggle and having unique experiences, a diagnosis that through your life for a loop, like through changed everything. If you had this diagnosis, your kid had, we have several people already coming on. I'm so excited to talk to. Trauma. I have at least one therapist coming on who is an expert in PTSD and trauma, and I'm excited about that. Spirituality and manifesting, which I mentioned. I want to bring on people of different career paths. I want you to send in your questions about those people and what they do. I think getting more exposure to what else is out there is also key. I want to talk about my experiences as a freelancer, how to get started freelancing, and as you can see, there's a lot to cover, but it all goes under the umbrella of living your life to the fullest and living your life for you, because you have no idea when this ride is going to end. You have no idea what's going to happen day in and day out. It's kind of just an assumption. It's ignorance that we all believe that everything is going to just continue this way every single day. The sun's going to come up, it's going to go down, you're going to go to sleep, you're going to wake up. It's the same thing. You need to do things that make you happy and find what makes you happy in every day on the way to you making this big life changing pivot. If that's what you choose to do, you want to make sure that you're still in the moment being happy about something. There should be something that makes you happy, whether it be you leave the house and the sun hits your face. Like, just imagine that right now. That is the best feeling, when you just walk outside and the sun hits your face and it's just perfect temperature out. Or maybe you walk outside and it's so hot, but you get that cool breeze and it just feels like summer. It smells like summer. It's just, ugh, maybe that's just me, but that is like the best feeling. Or you go to the grocery store and the person behind you compliments you, or the cashier is super nice and just puts you in a good mood. Or maybe you compliment them and you put them in a good mood and that puts you in a good mood. There's so much to be happy about and to accept right now as beautiful. And I do challenge you to do that. Well, I ask that you do the most you can to live your most authentic life. I also want you to look around and recognize what is working out, what is beautiful, what can make you happy now. And like I said, maybe it's the sun on your face when you walk out the door. Maybe it's your comfortable new pillow. Maybe it's petting your dog and watching your favorite show. Maybe it's the way your popped popcorn came out just right. Like none of it is burned. Maybe that's just me who has that issue. But I mean, there's so many things to look around and appreciate in life. And anyways, I think we're just about a half hour, and I think that's where we'll end off our first official episode. I am so happy. This has been awesome for me. And I just want to reach out again. I know I said this before. I'm posting it on my social media, but if you are interested in coming on, if any of this resonated with you or you think I'm missing a big piece, I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to just get all the information I can from everybody's point of view. I want to debate. I want to reminisce, like whatever you want to talk about that falls under this type of podcast, please reach out and we can put something on the schedule, because I think if you have something to say, if you're passionate about something,